Hello. This is a talk that I first did actually in 2017 in London, but I'm doing it again because there's a few updates for the new web-based way of doing things. So these are some mistakes not to make in talk slides. Because I've seen quite a number of talk slides. Some of them very good, some of them very bad, some of them in between. So I thought I'd just point out a few things that you shouldn't do. So first of all, as a brief personal introduction, I was born in 1982. I started doing a lot of programming on the BBC Micro. I learned BASIC on the BBC Micro. I then did Pascal and moved on to C. I had a job doing Perl and C on Solaris. And in summary, you don't actually care. For a personal introduction, especially in a lightning talk, you want to be brief. You want to just say, here is my name, here's my CPAN ID, maybe an email address, maybe a Twitter, maybe a web page, something like that. But don't go into huge details, especially not in a lightning talk. Now, fonts and colors. Yay. Let's have lots of colors. I don't know about anyone else, but that yellow hardly shows up on my monitor at all. Highlights are good. They really screw with the video compression algorithms. Fonts are great for making things terribly unreadable as well. Yeah, no, don't do that. Just stick to one or two very simple styles. Feel free to put in a small amount of styles for effect, but don't go overboard. Especially don't try to use color alone to convey information. Be aware of there are going to be a lot of colorblind people in the audience, so try to make it readable even if you can't see the colors. Now, for a background. Let's have some nice pretty colors there. Look at that. I actually had to put the text background on that because I literally could not read the writing against all those trees there. And yeah, I suspect Zoom in particular is probably having a great time of this. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just stick to a nice simple background, nice and subtle. If you want, you can put your company logo in the top or the bottom of the screen. I am using an off-white, a very slightly off-white background. I'm just watching the chat here as well. Yes, it just stops the bright glare there, so you can just focus on that without it burning your eyes out. Now, the video is doing a hell of a job with this. All the slide transitions, yay. So let's see, where's it going to come? Where's it going to come? Where's it going to come? And there it is. Yeah, don't do that, especially on a web conference like this, because I'm not watching the video stream, so I have no idea how well that compressed, but I don't think that went very well. Avoid moving things, definitely avoid flashing things, just simple switches. Oh, this one I know is not rendering. Look at that. So the top of the text is cut off there. The bottom of the text is cut off there. Yeah, don't do that. Right, stick to the middle of the screen. Don't go near the edges. Now, lovely huge walls of text. I see lots of people doing this because if you have a giant paragraph of text, your default reaction is going to be to stop and to read it out loud, and you will face the slide and read it aloud instead of looking at the camera. And by this point, the audience have got bored listening to my boring, monotonous voice droning on, and they're probably reading. They've probably read to the bottom. Yeah, don't do that, right? Short, snappy points. You don't need real sentences. You'll notice I'm not using sentences. I don't have full stops. This is a talk. It's not a reading. Similarly, huge walls of code like that. I mean, let's have a look down here. Is that line 12 or line 13? Yeah, no, don't do that. A few short lines of code. Elide all the unimportant details. Just put dots in there, right? That code won't compile, but the humans reading the code are not Perl compilers. They don't need to see every little detail. If you put up code in other languages, for example, this one here, sorry, it needs the comments. Yeah, don't do that. Don't presume that people are familiar with other languages, programming languages, natural languages. Take extra time to explain things. Incidentally, that piece of code that you saw, that was the round setup for an MD5 digest written in APL with comments in Esperanto. And yes, there is a font that supports APL and Esperanto. It took me a while to find. Don't just prohibit things, right? suggest alternatives. You'll see that's what I'm doing here. And finally, very importantly, sorry, I appear to be out of time.
That was ironic.
Yeah, that was pretty hilarious, actually.
That was brilliant, especially the last part.
Carefully coordinated. And also
And to make it really sad, I actually gonged at 5:04. So
oh,
you really did almost hit the time.
that's exactly.